Mexico, a place where the world's largest pyramid, standing 216 feet tall, hides in plain sight as a hill, where the capital city sinks nearly 20 inches a year, like a dry Atlantis, and where men can get fined just for wearing shorts while strolling at night. Would you dare to sleep inside the glowing serpent god, now available on Airbnb? Or hop on a 25-cent metro car that's off-limits to men? Hit play and buckle up. Here are 15 taboos and surprising facts about Mexico waiting for you to discover. Number 15. Mexico once sold nearly half its land to the U.S. just because it needed money. If you've ever driven through California, Arizona, or Texas, you might not realize that all of that land used to belong to Mexico until they were forced to sell it off in 1848 after the war with the United States. And the price for nearly half the nation's territory? Just $15 million. Adjusted for today, that's still less than the price of a Manhattan penthouse. After the U.S.-Mexico War, 1846 to 1848, American troops marched straight into Mexico City. Cornered, the Mexican government had to sign the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, handing over all the land that's now California, Texas, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and parts of Colorado and New Mexico, about 55% of Mexico's territory at the time. Why did they have to sell? Not just because of military pressure. Mexico was in a financial crisis, civil war, and political chaos. Taking $15 million from the U.S., about $550 million today, was seen as accepting humiliation to save what was left, a deal many historians call Mexico's greatest geopolitical disaster of the 19th century. Today, most Americans living in those states have no idea they're on land bought from a former not-so-friendly neighbor. And for modern Mexicans, it's still a painful chapter in history, making topics like borders, immigration, and sovereignty especially sensitive in U.S.-Mexico relations. Number 14. The snake-shaped apartment complex. Hidden among lush, oak-covered hills in Naucalpan, on the outskirts of Mexico City, there's a strange creature winding through the trees like something out of legend. A giant snake made of ceramic and concrete, with emerald, purple, and metallic silver scales, sparkling in the sun like a living being. But don't worry, it doesn't bite. This is Quetzalcoatl's nest, a one-of-a-kind architectural apartment complex, shaped after Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god of Aztec mythology. This masterpiece is the work of Javier Senocian, the father of organic architecture in Mexico. For him, a house isn't just a box, it's an extension of nature. Here, 10 apartments are arranged along the snake's body, winding around the hills as if slithering through the forest. Remarkably, there's not a single right angle. Bedrooms are domed, hallways spiral, windows are round like snake eyes, and staircases curve like a reptile's backbone. A little-known detail: the snake's mouth is actually the main entrance, where you walk through giant fangs to get inside. The tail is a quiet meditation garden, where some guests say they've heard the forest whisper. On sunny afternoons, the whole snake glows as if covered in living skin, creating a surreal, mystical effect. You can rent an apartment here on Airbnb for $150 to $300 a night, depending on the season. So, would you dare to spend a night inside Quetzalcoatl? Let us know in the comments. Number 13. Trying insect-based dishes. If you think insects only belong in nightmares or under your shoe, Mexico will make you rethink your whole outlook. Here, insects aren't just eaten, they're a cultural delicacy, served everywhere from rural markets to fancy restaurants in Mexico City. One of the most mind-blowing dishes for foreign visitors is Chapulin's crispy roasted grasshoppers, seasoned with salt, chili, and a squeeze of lime. Take a bite, and you'll hear a crunch like Doritos. It might make you shiver, laugh, and then want to try another. Eating insects in Mexico isn't a TikTok trend, it's an Aztec tradition that's thousands of years old. Locals eat about 300 edible insect species, from ant eggs, escamoles, called native caviar, to beetles, agave larvae, tarantulas, giant water bugs, and even whole roasted scorpions. Escamoles can go for up to $55 a serving at upscale restaurants in Puebla or Oaxaca. So, would you dare to pop a crispy grasshopper in your mouth? Comment below and let us know. Number 12. Men are required to marry multiple wives. Deep in the steep canyons of Copper Canyon, where cars can't reach, cell signals are faint, and meals are often just corn, beans, and grilled squash, lives the legendary Tarahumara tribe of Mexico. Famous for running barefoot for hundreds of miles in homemade rubber sandals, their marriage customs are just as unique. Many men are required to marry multiple women. Why required? Because Tarahumara marriages are almost always arranged, not based on love. Most young men have to marry 2 to 4 women early on, as a kind of trial cohabitation. Only when they find a wife who's truly compatible does the marriage become permanent. Wives who don't fit without any formal divorce simply leave, and the man marries again. A 2003 ethnographic survey in Chihuahua found about 42% of Tarahumara men, aged 25 to 40, had been married more than once. Interestingly, Tarahumara women are the ones who take the initiative. They can move in with a man for a few months before deciding whether to stay. If they get pregnant, the marriage is solidified. If not, they can leave without stigma. So, what do you think? Is trial polygamy a smart way out if you live in a society with no divorce? Number 11. Mexico is one of the world's largest car manufacturers. Are you driving a Toyota, Volkswagen, or Chevrolet? Chances are, it was made in Mexico. Hard to believe? In reality, Mexico is the world's 7th largest car manufacturer, and second in the Americas, just behind the US. Every year, Mexico produces 3 to 4 million vehicles, most of them exported to the U.S., Canada, and Europe. As you read this, thousands of new cars are being assembled in Mexican factories. Why is Mexico a powerhouse in heavy industry? First, labor is cheap, but the skill level is on par with U.S. or German standards. Second, geography. Mexico borders the U.S., the world's biggest car market, so cars can be delivered in hours. Finally, Mexico takes full advantage of free trade deals like USMCA and CPTPP to attract giants like BMW, Toyota, GM, Volkswagen, and now Tesla. Notably, Mexico is racing ahead in electric vehicles. Industrial zones in Nuevo León, Puebla, and Guanajuato are shifting to lithium battery production, charging stations, and even EV chips. Tesla has invested in a megafactory in Monterrey, and BMW is expanding I-Series production in 2025. This shows Mexico isn't just a contract manufacturer. It's becoming a global R&D and innovation hub for the auto industry. Number 10. The Zone of Silence in Mexico. Tucked between Durango, Chihuahua, and Coahuila, amid dry sand and sunburned mountains, lies a place that confuses both scientists and conspiracy theorists. Zona del Silencio, the Zone of Silence. It all started in 1970, when a U.S. Athena rocket launched from White Sands crashed right here. A coincidence, some say was no accident. Since then, Mexican and U.S. researchers have quietly visited the area with wave detectors, electromagnetic meters, and fuel trucks fueling rumors that Zona del Silencio hides something mysterious. Tourists flock in with cameras, sun hats, and eyes glued to the sky waiting for UFOs. But they're often disappointed. Compasses work, 4G still lets you post stories, and the only one in a weird outfit is the local guide. Some have joked, what kind of silence zone is this with so many people around? Though there are no permanent residents, the area benefits from mystery tourism. Locals run UFO tours, sell coconut water and corn cakes, and some even claim to be survivors of close encounters to draw crowds. Ironically, the name Zone of Silence has become its main source of income. Number 9. Subway cars, off limits to men. Since 2000, Mexico City's crowded metro has had special train cars just for women and children, marked Exclusivo para Mujeres y Niños, at the front or back of each train. A 2016 nationwide survey found 9 out of 10 Mexican women feel unsafe on public transport. UN Women's research was even more shocking. 70% of female passengers had experienced harassment, from unwanted touching to crude remarks, even secret filming. Even though Mexico City's metro is cheap and convenient, just about 25 cents a ride, it's still one of the most vulnerable places for women. That's why women-only cars are seen as a fragile but necessary shield. Men, including tourists, who enter these cars especially during rush hour, are considered rude and can be asked to leave by metro staff. Some Mexican men have protested, calling it reverse sexism, but most women see it as one of the few public spaces where they get priority. In fact, Mexico isn't alone. Tokyo, Jakarta, Delhi, and Bangkok also have women-only train cars. But Mexico was the first Latin American country to do this nationwide, and it's still going strong despite controversy. Number 8. Watch out for danger signs. If you're visiting Mexico for the first time, the most important advice isn't try the tacos. It's learn to read warning signs. In many areas, especially near the U.S. border like Tijuana, Ciudad Juarez, or Tepic, you might see small handwritten signs in red, taped to poles or walls. Zona de alto riesgo, no pasar después de las 6 p.m., or even territorio controlado. These aren't jokes, they're local warnings for residents. Northern cities like Tijuana and Ciudad Juarez have a reputation for crime. Even in Mexico City, the nation's modern, bustling capital neighborhoods like Tepito or Iztapalapa are considered unsafe, especially after dark. But don't let this scare you away from Mexico's beauty. Major tourist spots like Cancun, Oaxaca, San Miguel de Allende, or the historic districts of Guadalajara are heavily protected with tourist police, public cameras, and 24/7 hotlines. You'll feel safe in these areas as long as you don't wander into the wrong street out of curiosity. So, if you see a street that's unusually empty, poorly lit, or has warning signs in Spanish you don't understand, turn around. Mexico is amazing to explore, but only if you travel with open eyes and a clear head. Number 7. Mexico City is slowly sinking. You may have heard stories about the ancient city of Atlantis sinking into the sea, but did you know Mexico City, one of the world's largest cities with over 22 million people, is also sinking, bit by bit, every year? And not because of rising seas, but because it was built on top of a giant ancient lake, Lake Texcoco, once the heart of the Aztec Empire. Since the 16th century, Spaniards and later Mexicans have pumped groundwater from beneath the city to supply drinking water, especially since 70% of the city's water comes from underground wells. The result of centuries of unchecked water extraction. The ground below is too dry to support the city. The city sinks, quietly, steadily. A study in JGR Solid Earth found that some areas in the Northeast are sinking more than 20 inches, over 50 centimeters, a year, the height of an office chair, disappearing every 12 months. Foundations crack, sidewalks tilt, water pipes and sewers twist. Some scientists call it irreversible subsidence. Worse, the sinking pollutes underground water by changing pressure and flow, directly affecting drinking water for tens of millions. The risks of disease, water shortages, and infrastructure crises are no longer just theoretical warnings. Number 6. The alley where kissing was banned, even though it was made for kissing. Hidden in the colorful city of Guanajuato in central Mexico is an alley so narrow that two people standing on opposite balconies can kiss without leaning in. This is the world-famous Alley of the Kiss. Less than 28 inches, about 70 centimeters, wide. It's a romantic spot for couples, but also the site of a Romeo and Juliet-style tragedy. Ironically, in 2009, the city of Guanajuato, one of Mexico's most troubled states, banned public kissing, including in the alley built for it. Luckily, the law was frozen after just a few days, but it left a wrinkle in Mexican tourism history. Today, thousands of couples visit each year, with some even renting balconies by the hour just for photos and a lucky kiss. It's a tiny corner that holds a whole society: beliefs, laws, love, and controversy. Number 5. Swearing is a way to show affection. In many cultures, especially in the U.S. or U.K., swearing in public is seen as rude, uneducated, or even insulting. But if you hear a Mexican say something like, "What the hell are you doing here, you crazy guy?" don't get offended. In Mexican culture, especially among close male friends, words like cabrón, güey, or chingón are actually terms of endearment, more bro talk than insults. It's like how many Latinos in America talk tough words, but warm hearts. That doesn't mean you should swear back to fit in. For outsiders, especially tourists, swearing back, even as a joke, can make things awkward. It's an inside thing for locals, not for you. Just like you wouldn't call your American boss by a nickname only close friends use. Number 4. The largest pyramid in the world. When Americans think of pyramids, they usually picture Giza in Egypt. But the world's largest pyramid by volume isn't in Africa, it's in Mexico, and it's almost completely hidden from the modern world. Located in Cholula, Puebla, about a 2-hour drive from Mexico City, the Cholula Pyramid stands 216 feet tall, with a base nearly 1,300 feet wide, and a volume of over 4.5 million cubic meters, far bigger than Giza's 2.5 million cubic meters. But here's the amazing part. Most visitors have no idea they're standing on a pyramid. Instead of a classic triangle, Cholula has been covered by earth and plants for centuries, making it look like a natural hill. Ironically, when the Spanish conquered Mexico, they didn't realize what it was. Seeing a nice hill, they built the Church of Our Lady of Remedies right on top, a Catholic landmark that still stands today. For locals, Cholula was once the most sacred religious center before colonization, rivaling Teotihuacan. Inside, the pyramid contains over 5 miles, about 8 kilometers, of tunnels, with altars, statues, and traces of ancient rituals. Number 3. Leather Paradise. If you love the smell of leather, the snap of a real leather wallet, or the feel of a perfectly fitted brown jacket, no Icaco, possibly no Paltepec, or a similar local name, will blow your mind. Hidden in northern Veracruz, this small town looks like many peaceful highland towns, until you notice what fills every street. Leather, leather, and more leather. From shiny cowboy boots, hand-stitched shoes, and wide-brimmed hats, to all sorts of exotic leathers, like crocodile, ostrich, and even lizard. This is a true paradise for leather lovers. Some joke that just breathing here fills your lungs with a scent of tanned hides. Even though it's far from the main tourist routes, the town has a surprisingly high density of leather shops, from tiny workshops where you can get your name engraved, to small but modern malls, packed with designs from classic to edgy. Prices are much lower than in touristy spots like Puebla or Mexico City. You can get real leather boots for $60 to $90, with quality that would make American brands jealous. Number 2. Banned. Wearing shorts and public urination. You might think, of course you get fined for peeing in public, but what's wrong with wearing shorts? It sounds odd, but in many big Mexican cities like Guadalajara or Mexico City, these two acts are often lumped together, making shorts a suspicious outfit. Why? Because in most public urination cases caught by police, the offenders wore shorts, usually men, often tourists, or drunk night owls. Over time, city authorities started seeing shorts as a symbol of improper behavior, especially when paired with drinking beer on the sidewalk, being loud, or relieving yourself on the nearest wall. And here's the thing. Foreign tourists are often the first ones targeted. Why? Because they wear shorts everywhere, even at 10 p.m., in historic districts. In some downtown areas, public urination fines range from $60 to $150, and you could even be detained for a few hours if you don't have ID. Advice: even though Mexico is hot, especially in spring, consider wearing pants if you're walking around downtown at night. And don't think, just do it quickly and leave, is smart security cameras, and undercover cops are always watching, especially for public urination. Number 1. In Mexico, you can pay taxes with art. In San Miguel de Allende, one of Mexico's most famous art cities, artists can pay their taxes with paint. Seriously. Instead of paying $100 to $300 a year, depending on your work, you can propose a mural for the community. If it's approved, voila, your tax bill is legally cleared. The Pago en Especie program, since 1957, allows artists to pay income tax with paintings or sculptures, which are reviewed by a government panel. Picture this. You're a freelance artist in New Mexico or California. Instead of writing a check for your income tax, you paint a mural of a local nurse hugging a patient during the pandemic on a library wall. Instead of a boring receipt, you leave a legacy for the community. This cultural tax policy has had amazing results. Neighborhoods that were once dirty or run down are now outdoor art galleries, showing Maya legends, revolutionary heroes, or just the warm smile of a corn vendor. No wonder San Miguel de Allende is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and ranks among the 10 best places to live and retire, according to Travel Plus Leisure, 2023. Mexico is a country that's both vibrant and full of surprises. From strange social rules to jaw-dropping facts, every corner of Mexico hides something unexpected. Have you ever experienced anything weird in this country? Share your story in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more taboos, cultural secrets, and shocking truths from around the world.